Around 100 years ago, the suffragettes decided that women should get the right to vote too and leave the home and go to college. Since there wasn't really a good argument why not, they were eventually granted that privilege by an evil worldwide patriarchate so shocked by the dumb thing that it had just done that it promptly tried to destroy itself in 2 subsequent world wars. Some 20 years after that, development in politics and economics had come to a grinding halt again, much to the chagrin of a new generation that had just gotten access to contraceptives and acid. In order to shut the youth up, the ruling elite created new and exciting wars for the guys and some ineffectual legislation for the ladies. While the effect of either was stick all, some women decided that they were now feminists and pretended they had achieved anything close in scope and effect to what the suffragettes did. But then those organized feminists had to become increasingly skilled at planning out the 800-pound gorilla in the middle of the room. Namely, that women don't have a problem that men wouldn't have either. Now before you spam my comments with how women earn 75% on the dollar, shut up you misinformed twats. They don't, they really don't, it's a lie. You don't believe me? Fair enough. There's a link for you up there. It's a presentation by Warren Farrel, the author of the book Why Men Earn More. And the reason for that is basically men pick tougher jobs that pay better. Then there's another thing feminists like to drone about. That women don't have equal representation in high positions because, the man is keeping them down, or some shit. What's really keeping women out of those high positions is that there's simply not as many smart women as there are smart dudes. Now, here's Mr. PC proclaiming, women are exactly as smart as men, and the Himalayas are just as tall as the Rockies, and using a flashlight made out of barbed wire is just as good as the real thing. Okay, the average IQ is the same. But that's because IQ tests are designed that way. These here are 2 bell curves. They show the distribution of the IQ in the population. 1 for men, 1 for women. Most people have around average IQs and the more extreme IQs are rare. With me so far? Now, the interesting part here is that men are spread out more than women. And that has some grave implications. That means the more you look at the really high IQs, the fewer women you get. At a point there's simply no women there, but still plenty of men. It's safe to say that pretty much all the smartest people on the planet are men. Of course, that doesn't mean one should actively prevent women from becoming managers and politicians. We're all just dots in a bell curve, and there are some great, smart, amazing women out there. But none of them are feminists. And that's not an accident. Why? Because of feminism itself. It means advancing the welfare of women. This is different from your default political setting, advancing the welfare of everyone. Or, say the Republican parties, advancing the welfare of rich white senior citizens. But what this means is that feminism becomes really hard to justify when you are in a Western world that now discriminates against men much more so than against women. Once equity is reached, furthering the welfare of one interest group can only occur at the detriment of the other groups, and such conduct is, for the lack of a better word, evil. Not just a little bit evil, KKK type evil, Nazi levels of evil. Now maybe calling them Nazis is a cheap shot, but there's some further similarities. See, if you want regular people to do bad stuff, you have to go to great lengths. For example, using a conspiracy theory that some other group is trying to kill your group. That's how it's always worked. And hence a group that already consisted of balloonies becomes increasingly detached from the real world because they have to cover up their lies with copious amounts of bullshit. From the point of view of some wide-eyed idealist who truly wanted to do something good for society's weakest and most precious, feminism may seem as a promising venue at first. But assuming he were sane and at least moderately smart, he would quickly realize that feminism at its core cannot be more than the ideological ramblings of intellectually damaged lesbians, and consequently renounce it. Then, he'd probably go back to making the world a better place for everyone. Especially for your mom.